And then within the paradox lies your opportunity for growth. Yeah. You don't have an addiction to happiness. You have addiction to bypassing. Happiness is our natural state. Yeah. So you have a deep commitment to comfort, and you would prefer comfort and safety over even a temporary discomfort because the belief in abandonment and betrayal is so strong. So occasionally people choose comfort over their growth. When you become aware of that, it gets a lot more clear. I'm not going to say it gets easier, because this is a tough one. It goes in our spiritual communities really strongly. People are kind of love and light snobs, vibrational snobs. Do you notice that a lot? It's why I don't give a lot of humans from the future predictions anymore. I thought people were ready to handle it, and then they were like, oh my gosh, that's where we're going based upon the conditioned beliefs that we have in the collective. But now what you're saying that's happening 20 years from now looks like war. Looks like when aliens land, we're going to shoot at them. I don't want to hear that. That's not a high vibration. I don't resonate. And then they would punish me with that belief, as opposed to just looking around at the truth of that in the world and saying, you know what? Thanks for telling me what can I do to change it. That should be your answer to difficult predictions and difficult spiritual teachings. Thank you for the awareness of this teaching. I can see how it relates. How do we change it in the world? How do I change it myself? What is my personal responsibility? What is my part in the collective, and how do I find that? Ask questions. When I started giving the humans from the future bilocations and channelings to the world, I thought people would ask those questions. I overestimated humanity's intelligence once again. And I'm not apologizing for what I just said either. I don't have a lot of tolerance for ignorance, for chosen ignorance. It's not even stupidity. It's wise people choosing to remain ignorant for their own comfort. Do I have compassion for it? Yes. But will I allow that to actually get in my way? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes I just get to the point of just being able to say, this is what you need to know right now, because we're leaning in a harsh direction, and you're going to need a little bit of, ego wing clipping and fear removal. You're going to need a little bit of discomfort to face parts of yourselves that are actually creating collective, powerfully painful predictions and possibilities. Yeah. Now, this is another way to bypass. I see this a lot. I've seen this so much, not just on my channel, but anytime I channel on someone else's podcast, there will be at least 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, 9 people come forth and write something in the comments. And the something is this: don't forget your sovereignty and your free will. You always have the capacity to change everything. This is just one potential. Predictions aren't actually true. They're just one potential based upon one timeline with where you are right now. So why do you even predict anyway? I predict anyway because I care. And I am predicting that one potential where billions of people are headed towards in a moment, because I have the gift and capacity to predict that. So I'm going to bring it to you in hopes that we can reach a point where enough of those billions of people take it upon themselves personally as a deeper spiritual responsibility to care about the world. Yes, I'm aware that it's one potential, but we don't just have individual potential where an individual could change. You could change, but there could still be billions of people around you that are not changing. And guess what? Control freaks. You could change it, but that doesn't mean you're not going to see it in the world. You changed it for you, great. It won't affect you, but you'll still see it in the world. Politics don't affect me, but I still see the pain of it in the world. The Illuminati doesn't affect me. And I'm very protected from it. Sometimes I'll try to align to a certain podcast or TV show or program, and I get pulled in, and the Galactic Council chops it down. They're like, nope. And then it doesn't happen. The rug gets pulled out from underneath me every time. It's frustrating. But regardless, I would prefer people take responsibility in their part in negative alignment and choices. And when people are choosing comfort and safety, and it's like the type of comfort that's just, quite frankly, it can become lazy. I'm just going to call it, it can become that you are addicted to convenience. It can become that you're addicted to consumerism. It can become that you're so addicted to money. You're so afraid of finances and you haven't faced that belief system yet that you won't actually let yourself retire and believe that you can live off of that retirement. So you'll stay at a painfully frustrating, sometimes mentally abusive situation at work, absolutely mentally and physically exhausting jobs, because you have beliefs that you're going to run out of money. You have deep scarcity commitment. That is a commitment to the belief in scarcity, so much that you will work until you're 80 years old. Right? Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Melanie says, but the potentials have different degrees of likelihood, though, with how many people in a collective belief hold that belief and how strongly. Yes, but here's what I do. I tune into the most likely potential for those billions of people. That's why the predictions come true. But I'm not giving them these predictions to you or the humans from the future channelings and bilocations to you so that you can pat my back and say, oh my God, that came true. Now tell me what to do. Oh, guru, I hate that. I don't like pedestal stuff. Strong enough for me to say the word hate. Like, I don't like pedestal stuff. I don't like guruism. I give you that even though I know you're going to eat me alive and challenge it because I want you to change it. And if I put it out there, the likelihood is within the larger group of people. It's not just for some small sect that happen to follow me. I'm putting it out there because I've seen it in like more than 50% of our population. If we have more than 50% of our human population in the world that are committed to a negative belief, we have the potential for that outcome. So I give it to you so that you can know, so that you can prepare, and more than that, if it's possible for you to change it. But even if it isn't possible for you to change it, I give it to you anyway, because then you can see the stuff that's rising in the collective that you need to heal. What do I mean by that? Well, if plane accidents, for example, are continuing to be a problem, what needs to change? Would you be a person that perhaps works for an airline? Are we as a collective using transportation as a form of addictive consumerism when we need to be working more locally and paying attention and giving precedence to the family that's actually around us? Probably. I know our ancestors didn't have big metal birds to get on and go across the world. Am I doing that to give you safety from more and more of that happening so that you can tune into your own internal guidance and say, okay, I'm going to pay attention when I get on flights and just say, okay, I'm just going to sit with myself and say, am I personally in alignment to that? Some people choose to travel anyway during those times when I say something bad is about to happen in a plane or at an airport, and the bad thing happens, but then they end up being rescheduled or they end up being slightly delayed and moving to a different plane, or something happens, the pilot change it, like they get like a whole change of outcome because they're not in alignment to it. So that's not for the few of you that aren't in alignment. There will be tons of individuals who aren't in alignment with the prediction. So it's not to say that that I'm superseding your individual free will and your individual alignment, but what I'm really reading is not individual alignment. I'm reading collective alignment. If I've seen a major prediction, it's happening for billions of people. And billions of people, what I mean by that is there could be something bad's about to happen, and billions of people are going to be affected by it or hurt by it, or somehow, going to be able to see it. They'll see that it happened on the news, etc. Right? And I give it for so many reasons. So many reasons, so many powerful reasons. Sometimes you can change it and sometimes you can't. But even if you can't change it, the fact that you're seeing what's coming up in the collective gives you personal power to decide whether or not to be a part of it or not. I think I was